Welcome to EdScoop TV. I'm Wyatt Kash, and we're here today with Holly Stachler. Holly is the Director of eLearning and Curricular Innovation at the Yorktown Community Schools in Yorktown, Indiana. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And I also want to congratulate you as one of this year's 5 CoSN Next Gen Leaders awardees. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's been an honor to be here and among the other winners.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you. Tell us first a little about your district. Give us a sense of the size, scope, and the sort of IT and curriculum support folks that you have supporting them.
Okay. Yorktown Community Schools is located about an hour northeast of Indianapolis. We have 2,500 students and about 150 teachers and support staff. Our campus is made up of 4 buildings, and they're very close in location. So many of us serve the buildings as at the district level. Like we work between the buildings. So myself in IT, and then as well as like some literacy folks that support the learning as well. We work more broad with all the buildings. Mm-hmm. So we have 1 high school, 1 middle school, 2 elementary schools mm-hmm. in our district. As far as my IT team is how we're made up is we have a network administrator who makes sure our systems run and we're safe and those kinds of things. We have a data privacy manager that is in charge of all student informations, and we have a tech support specialist who runs our help desk mm-hmm. to help support all of our devices and our teachers' devices. And then I take care of all of the professional development and training for our tech integration tied into our curriculum, and I also help with some of the administrative paperwork and policies that go with that position mm-hmm. as well.
Well, tell us a little about the tech integration, maybe some of the initiatives that your school district's focusing on right now as top priorities as you look into the upcoming school year and beyond.
For 2017, something exciting that we have going on in our district, we're a rather small district, so we don't have a lot of staff. You notice our tech team is made up of basically 4 people. That is a big, there's a lot of students. We are a very tech-rich district. We are fully integrated. All of our students have devices to use in some way. We ask our teachers to build a lot of digital curriculum on their own, which takes a lot of support. We've been a tech-rich district for several years now, which what it's created is kind of a gap because our teachers have been trained all along, but then as we get new teachers in who aren't quite as mm-hmm. savvy with developing that digital content, we found that they need a lot more support and a lot more personalized attention. So running one-size-fits-all professional developments, it doesn't work anymore in our district. So for 2017, we're putting tech integration coach positions in every building. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a teacher that has who's familiar with classroom practices and the standards in their content areas and in the buildings that they service. And they will, not only will they serve as a reference for our classroom teachers to help them with that digital curriculum building and the device management and those kinds of things, but also they'll get to participate in a teacher leadership academy with me. So I'll train them how to do professional development because that's a skill that people just don't automatically have. Just because you can teach doesn't mean you can provide that kind of training to teachers. So I'll mm-hmm. teach them how to do that. And then develop teacher leaders for other reasons as well, because in the field, in the profession, we're struggling to get people who want to take on those leadership roles. Mm-hmm. So we think as a district, if we can develop 8 more good, strong teacher leaders over the course of 2017-18 through technology, mm-hmm. It'll have great impact on our whole district. So I'm very excited about that mm-hmm. for 2017-18, and it's my job to make sure it goes well. So that's my goal.
Good for you. Talk a little bit about the sort of the changing technology landscape as we move more towards web-based applications, and how are you assessing all the available tools that teachers could be using as they develop their curriculum mm-hmm. and sort of giving them boundaries to work within?
Yes, so our teachers create all of their digital content in our learning management system that we have for our district. There are so many resources that can tag into that, however, and that can be embedded in that, and then also where they find the resources that they're going to put into what they're building. So we have teacher leaders, teacher curriculum experts more that go out and look for some of that. I work with, will those programs play nicely with what we have? We do have content people who really focus on the quality of what we're putting in, and we leave that to the content area people. We just, we make it work within there. We're looking at the open resources, really starting to look into that. We've had a heavy focus on that this year. So there's a lot out there, and it's always changing. There's always more. So that's an ongoing job.
I bet. Tell me about maybe one project that you've worked on recently that you and your team are particularly proud of.
Something that we're proud of in Yorktown Community Schools is we have been successful in implementing e-learning days or virtual option days, where instead of students coming to school to learn, they stay home and do online learning. But it's not an online learning program, but we have that available to us. So if we have poor weather in Indiana, that happens a lot. If we have poor weather, when we cancel school, it's not necessarily a missed day of school, it's an e-learning day. And so students, with our learning management system in place, teachers provide instruction where the students can go on and get their instruction as they would if they were in class. And it just provides a lot of flexibility. Not only do we use them for inclement weather, but we use them for something called flex days, where we can have no school at school and have like professional development for the teachers. We can have parent-teacher conferences. We can still get our days in that we're supposed to get in, but still be able to have those opportunities to not miss out on doing the things that are important as well, like meeting with parents and sharing student progress and developing our teachers. So our district has been recognized as doing that well without sacrificing quality of instruction, because we want the same great quality to happen online as happens in the classroom. And so we have done trainings, we've hosted trainings for other districts to see that other schools can put that program in place too. So we're very proud in our district that we've been able to do that and do it well.
And let's shift a little bit to the Next Generation Leaders program. Tell us first, how did you decide or get drawn into becoming part of the sort of education technology part of education?
So I was a primary teacher. I taught kindergarten and first grade for many years. And it wasn't until 4 years ago that just based on some tech integration things that I was playing around with in my classroom, I got recognized by my tech director and by my superintendent as someone who could probably spread it a little bit more if they could get me out of a classroom to get my hands on teachers and provide training for them. So they took a chance and created a position for me to do that. And it just kind of happened. I think that often it's interesting, you'll find people in training roles have been primary teachers. I know several of the next gen people came out of the classroom, and even last year as well, the winners. I think it's because we can break things down so simply that it helps the teachers to understand it a little bit better, because we're used to breaking things down for young children. So I think that has an impact. So it just kind of happened naturally for me to get into that role.
Well, that makes sense. And lastly, what advice would you have for other teachers who may not realize this is something they'd like to do, or rising ed tech directors that are still trying to get up to speed with some of the challenges? What might you offer them?
I think that my role is very unique because I serve as a trainer, but I also serve with the superintendent's cabinet to help make decisions. So I see kind of the policy and the classroom side as well. I think it's so important that people thinking of going into the ed tech field remember that you cannot separate curriculum, instruction, and assessment. It is all tied together with the technology, and the technology is not a separate entity. So if folks can just keep that in mind, that it all works together. People in those roles have to be willing to sit at the table with district decision makers, and they have to be able, have the skill set to build relationships with the curriculum directors and everyone else at the table to make sure that the technology is included and that it will work well.
Well, Holly, thank you so much for sharing some of your insights. Glad you could be with us, and congratulations again on winning one of this year's 5 CoSN Next Gen Leaders Program Awards. Really appreciated you joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Wyatt Kash with EdScoop TV. Thanks for watching.